This week, the story is not only about rising prices, it is about something deeper. Across African economies, fuel costs are rising, debt pressure is returning, and policy space is tightening. The question now is not simply who is growing, it is which governments still have room to respond? Across the continent, the signals are building. South Africa has promised action after protests linked to xenophobic attacks drew a response from Ghana. China's zero-tariff policy for African exports has now come into effect. Zimbabwe has recorded lithium sulfate production, signaling early moves toward mineral processing. Mozambique is preparing for further IMF program talks, and Kenya is facing rising fuel and electricity costs. The signals are not isolated, they are connected. And this is where the story becomes larger than prices or debt, because Africa remains central to global demand. Investment in minerals, infrastructure, and trade corridors continues. China's expansion of zero-tariff access creates new opportunities, but access does not guarantee control. Zimbabwe's lithium production highlights the deeper question. Can African economies move beyond extraction into value creation? At the same time, tensions over migration and employment are rising. In South Africa, pressure linked to jobs and migration has spilled into regional tensions with Ghana. And disruptions to Red Sea trade routes continue to raise costs across East Africa. The pattern is no longer isolated. Economic pressure, political tension, and global competition are now moving together. And away from economic pressure, Africa's cultural presence continues to expand. Morocco will present its first national pavilion at the Venice Biennale, centered on memory, craft, and artisanal knowledge, a reminder that Africa's global influence is not only economic, it is cultural too. So this week, the question is not simply whether Africa is growing, it is who still controls the outcome. Because when costs rise, borrowing tightens, and demand remains strong, the balance of power becomes visible, and that is the story now.